What's happening, YouTube? I'm here for a vinyl update. you know, because the last couple videos that I did, or we did, was from was from vacation, and then I did a video with Kat on her channel, a vinyl update. And her vinyl update was what mine is going to be. We went record shopping a couple weeks ago. Was it last weekend or the weekend before last? I don't remember now. It's just a blur. I think it was the weekend before last. And we went to Everybody's Records, one of our favorite record stores of all time. Better than Amoeba, believe it or not. And we went to Plaid Records, which is another one of our favorites, which we don't get to go to that one very often. I don't know why, but anyway. So this is the stuff that we got on that outing. Kat showed the stuff she got, so now I'm going to show what I acquired. Let's see, I have to separate these by store, which I meant to do that before I started, but I mean to do a lot of things that I don't do. See, this goes with this, that goes with that, this goes here, and that goes there. That's got a strange label on it. Oh, okay, I see. Alright. Well, if you watched our last two videos, the last one I uploaded here and one on Kat's channel, I have a Cramps t-shirt on. And that shirt is a shirt that I bought at Everybody's when we were there. I've been wanting that shirt for a long time, and the reason that I haven't got one, or the reason I didn't have one, is because I was wanting a black one. But yellow is the traditional one, because the album cover is yellow. But I, like black for certain things, shirt-wise. And I have seen black ones before, but just, you can't buy everything every time you see it. So anyway, they had that one, and it's like, yeah, I gotta have that. So first thing I want to show here is some CDs that I picked up at Everybody's. Just some stuff that I didn't have on CD. 13th Floor Elevators. And this is their first album, Psychedelic Sounds of the 13th Floor Elevators. I do not have this on vinyl. This is the deluxe reissue, I guess you call it. I don't know what you call it. It's 2 discs. 2 discs. And it is... the first CD is the original 1966 mono LP, and then CD2 is the stereo mix plus bonus tracks. And it has a different running order on the CD2, which I guess was the original running order. And the extra tracks is Bob Sullivan's original stereo desk mixes, which there's 5 tracks for that. So I picked that up just because I had to, had to hear it, had to have it, and a deluxe one. Eventually I'd like to get that on vinyl. And this I actually do have on vinyl, but I didn't have it on CD. The Dead Kennedys. This is sort of a deluxe thing type. It's Plastic Surgery Disasters and In God We Trust Inc., both on the same CD, which I didn't realize that they had done that. It's their second album and their classic EP together. 21 songs on one CD and a 36-page booklet. So I have both of those on vinyl. I'm not going to show you this whole thing, but I love the artwork on a lot of these because they're just like collages of random things. And it reminds me of one summer, this was back in the 70s, I went to a Bible school for a week or 2 weeks or whatever it was, through some neighbors that I knew. And one of the few things I remember doing was they gave us some of those real big Sears catalogs that they used to have, and J.C. Penney's, and we cut pictures out of them and glued them together in a collage. So that's what that reminds me of. But I'm sure those pictures aren't from J.C. Penney's. Actually, some of them might be. Who knows? And then I also got Dead Kennedy's third album, Frankenchrist, which also have this on CD, or on CD. This is CD. I have it on vinyl. I want to say I have all of theirs on vinyl at this point, except for there's one that's considered like a greatest hits of sorts. Can't think of the name of it right off. I don't have that one. I've seen it a few times. It's a great picture, isn't it? I used to work at a Masonic home, and they had Shriners. They had a Shriner. I don't know. Once a year, they had some kind of a shindig, and it was they had those Shriners there, and I don't know if they were in those little cars or not. I want to say they were one year, but I could be wrong. Cheers. And on to the vinyl stuff I got at everybody's. This record I've been looking for forever. Someone showed it on YouTube. I don't know. It's been a while back now. It's like, oh my God, that's such an awesome album cover. What is that? And I checked it out online, and it's jazz, like fusion. And it's a CTI record, which now I'm obsessed and have been for a while with CTI records. And this one might have been the one that got the ball rolling, so to speak. This is Randy Weston with Blue Moses. And because I just went over to the jazz section to check to see if they had it, you know, thinking, of course, they're not going to. And everybody's comes through again, and they did have it. So it's pretty great to find that. And like I said, it's on CTI. And from what I understand, a lot of the CTI releases, if not all of them, are like a jazz fusion type. I mean, anyone knows out there, and leave me a comment. I might be completely wrong, but the guests include on this one is Freddie Hubbard, which I have some of his records, Grover Washington Jr., which I have some of his, and Hubert Laws, I want to say I have a couple of his. So, and this one's only 4 tracks, I think. Very long tracks. So, I was really excited to see that. And I think that was one of the last things that I picked up. Because my general instinct is to, when I go shopping, especially at a record store, I used to be like this at FYE, but not so much anymore because they don't really carry anything. But in a record store, you know, I want to start at the beginning and go all the way through the new releases and the different genres and, you know, alphabetical. I don't do that every time because, you know, time and money, same story for everything. And so as you're looking, you think about certain things. I mean, I have a mental list, but my lists don't always work mentally. I actually have a list on my phone of other things, but... And then Kat found this one for me. I had just bought this movie on DVD, and this is the soundtrack, Streets of Fire. I remember seeing this on HBO, like back in the 80s, and liking it. This has some good stuff on it, too. It's got... the song you'll probably know on here is I Can Dream About You by Dan Hartman from the soundtrack, and that's also got a video. We also have The Fix, Deeper and Deeper. That's like one of my favorite songs by The Fix. If you haven't heard that song, you really need to. And the extended version is even better. You also have Fire Incorporated on here, Marilyn Martin. Some of these people I never heard of. Ry Cooder, I don't know who that is. He used to play with Captain Beefheart. The Blasters. So yeah, this came out in probably 84, I want to guess. Yeah, 84, I was actually right. It was a PG movie. So, I don't know. Kat must have found that in the used records because it wasn't in the dollar bin. And I didn't get a chance to go through too much of the dollar bin. I went through a little bit of it. But I just hate to hold everyone up because I feel like that everyone's done looking and then I'm still looking. But, you know, you'll get that. And then this one was in the dollar bin. Miko, I guess you pronounce it Meko, the Wizard of Oz. I have quite a few of this artist or band group, whatever you want to call it, but I didn't have this one. The Star Wars one is the one that they're probably most known for. If you remember anything from the 70s when it comes to that band, it would be something from that millennium. But it's sort of like a synthesizer type music, and I like it. This is the whole soundtrack. I want to see here if it says musicians from the Milky Way galaxy. But you have pretty much every instrument on here you can think of. And it's done, you know, like a 70s type style. This one came out in 75, 78. So that was cool to find that. And I just want to say once again, and I know I probably go on and on, people that watch my channel probably think, man, really? But I just want to say again that Everybody's is our favorite record store. And like that Blue Moses record, I couldn't find it anywhere else other than probably online if I looked. I don't like to order records online if I can help it. I will do that if there's no other way. But once again, I found stuff at Everybody's that I haven't found anywhere else. And the guys that work there are really super nice. And it's nice to have friends at a record store, of all places. So, you know, there's Jason, Metal Jason, and Woody, and Harry, and Trevor, I think, still works there. Some of the other guys, I don't remember their names, but I see them frequently. There's Andy, and Carl, I think, works there. I think his name's Carl. So that's all I have to say about Everybody's for now. Now I want to show the records that I got at Plaid Room, which was after we went to Everybody's. First thing I'll start off with is another, I think this is another CTI record, or if it's not, it's similar type. No, this is on Fantasy Records, but it's a CTI artist, Stanley Turrentine. That's a weird cover. And this is jazz fusion type stuff. It's really good. I really like this kind of music. And it's just black vinyl. All these are, I think, black vinyl. I don't think I have any colored vinyl. But I got a Stanley Turrentine record that I was looking for once again at Everybody's. The Stanley Turrentine, it's called Sugar. And I found that one there and about flipped. So now that I got the few that I had my eye on for a while, now I can start branching out into their other releases and potentially other artists of that type. And it's funny that my cat, every time I come down here, my black cat, he comes down here and he like noses around, and I think the reason he does that is one, because I'm down here, but two, I have all the lights on down here, so I guess cats can see in the dark, but I don't know. Side note, I suppose. And then this one was, we went with Kat's cousin and her husband, and I think he found this one for me because he was looking through the other stack of records in the front when we went in, and I didn't have anything by this artist, so I was like, yeah, I want that. It's Alien Sex Fiend, Too Much Acid, and this is a live album. And that's Nick Fiend there in the back. But yeah, this is sort of like industrial goth type music. It's more goth, I think, than industrial. Like I said, this is my first Alien Sex Fiend record. And the labels are different on both sides. So there's, make sure I'm holding it right side up. And so this came out in this, it was recorded in the spring of 1989. And I want to say that Alien Sex Fiend was one of the bands that was at the Batcave, along with some of the other people that you might, other golf bands you might know or might have heard of. So yeah, I'll be looking to forward to checking that one out. Let me see what else we got in here. It came with something else. I'm gonna get it out. Oh. I want to say, is there something else in there? Maybe. Let's see, it's got this. I don't know if this came with the album or if someone put this in here. It looks like someone had printed it, but this has like a flyer for the tour. First US tour in 5 years. And then it has a lot of like contact information, and there's 2 of these. I guess it's 2 different pages. So that's cool. And then it has this book that comes with it. And this is like a fanzine, which is really awesome. So yeah, I'll be looking at that here shortly. I didn't realize that was in there. I knew the album was, or knew the record felt really thick. That'd be why. So Alien Sex Fiend. I want to say it doesn't have the song that I know from them. It doesn't. Something about I Want to Get Zombified, I think is the name of it. That's not on here. Odd. And then Kat's cousin's husband, his name's Dave, by the way. I guess I can put this back on here. He found that Alien Sex Fiend record. I'll put that back in here shortly. And then he also found this one. This is called, it's Thinking Time, 60s Punk versus Dancing Junk. I'd never seen this record at all, ever. This is like a various artist compilation. How to do the think. So that was really an odd find. Beware Records, I guess. Beware, it's thinking time. But it tells you how to do the think there, in case you didn't know how. You can study that. Yeah, I'll just name some of the bands here. The Gamaguchi, the Underbeats, the Daybreakers, the Barracudas, the Night People, the Romancers, the Hunted, the Pastels. So yeah, that's an interesting, I'm assuming it's like a garage rock type thing. 60s punk, it says, so yeah, it would almost have to be, wouldn't it? Because punk in the traditional sense didn't exist at that point. I don't see a year on here, but anywho. And then this one, I had just, what was it? There was something that I had just seen from this guy. Oh, it was his birthday the day before we went to the record store. And then I found it. Screaming Lord Sutch. This one's just called Story. One side's horror, and the other side's rock. That's a great picture there on the back. He sort of looks like the guy from Alien Sex Fiend. And I think it's a cool picture. Can you see it? But the Jack the Ripper song in here, I think is the one that Jack White covered. It also has Dracula's Daughter, Purple People Eater. She's fallen in love with the Monster Man. And then also he does Train Kept a Rolling, I'm a Hog for You, Good Golly Miss Molly, so on and so forth. But yeah, Screaming Lord Sutch was a really interesting find, to say the least, like a lot of these were. And then I think, no, I was going to say the rest are in the dollar, from the dollar bin, but no, they're not all of them. Kat's cousin had found this record, I guess, and then Kat showed me the record when I got over there, and she goes, she thought you might want this. It's like, yeah, The Hexorcist, a devil of an album. I mean, it's probably a comedy record by the looks of the people here on the back. There's Gary Owens right over here. And this guy here, that's, the guy looks familiar, but that's not who I thought it was. Pat Paulson, he's a comedian. So I'm assuming it's probably a, there's J.P. Morgan. She used to be on the Gong Show as a judge all the time. So I'm assuming it's probably a comedy record, but nevertheless, it's an awesome cover. So, and then I always pick these up when I see them, and I've probably got at least 10 by now. And I don't know if that's all the same artist or not, but Eddie the Sheik Koshkak with Haki Obadiah, Strictly Belly Dancing. And this is volume 1. And I've heard that these records are not real. They're made to look like Indian records, and they're not. So I don't know if that's all records that you see like this, or just a specific artist, or what, but I have heard that. And then this one is the same people, but volume 2. And I seen one, and I almost didn't get it, and then I ran across the second one. It's like, okay, that's what gets me to get them, because I buy things in 2, and especially if it's a matching, if they match, you know, I'm going to buy them, or if they're like in a set or something. So that was interesting. And the last thing I bought was, if this is a reissue, I showed a reissue recently, I don't know how many videos back, of a record that I was dying to get, and you know, and we found it at Everybody's, and they had 2 copies of it. About floored me. And so I bought one, and it was just black vinyl. It was a reissue that came out in I want to say the 80s or 90s, probably the 80s, but I didn't care when it came out. I was going to buy it. So recently, shortly after that actually, it had been reissued again on colored vinyl. Actually, I think it's on Hellfire vinyl. Appropriate. Excuse me. It's the band Coven, and the album is Witchcraft, Destroys Minds, and Reaps Souls. So yeah, I just showed the other reissue that I had not too long ago. But this one, supposedly by the hype sticker, it has all the original artwork restored, and it says complete with original artwork featuring lyrics and instructions for Black Mass, pressed in limited edition red and yellow Hellfire vinyl. So here's the Hellfire vinyl. Hellfire vinyl. So I seen it there. They had a couple of those too, and I seen it. It's like, oh my god, because I knew it existed, and I think I had it on my Amazon wish list. Did I show that? Did I show that? I think I did. But so yeah, I thought there was a. Here we go. I think there was more to it than that. There's the lyrics, and then up here it has like. What a satanic mass is, and then somewhere in here I thought it had I mean it goes through the whole word for word the black mask that's on the last track. Um, but I thought this band was really odd because this came out in 1968 originally, 69, and one of the band members' name is Oz Osborne, um, which is strange within itself. This was supposed to be the first satanic band, um, and they have songs like they have a song called Black Sabbath on here, um, and then they have one called Wicked Woman. Uh, so it's sort of a weird type coincidence, because Black Sabbath came out, what, a couple years later, whatever it was, 1970 maybe, 71. So I don't know if there was any influence there or if, there's a lot of that kind of stuff. Like this guy here, he's not Elvis, but some people think he is. There's a lot of that kind of thing in music, I've noticed, which is very intriguing to me. If I had enough research and enough knowledge and more professional, I would put together a series of artists that are very similar, but someone else maybe they can do it. I know they can do it better than I could. Well, that's all I have to show in this vinyl update. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you're not currently a subscriber. Thanks for all the subscribers. I noticed I'd got a few more subscribers in the past, I don't know, a couple months. Much appreciated. I hope I have enough content, because I'm not as regular as I used to be of uploading things, but appreciate everyone that watches, and I'll keep making videos. At least, every so often you'll see one or two. So we'll see you in the next vinyl update right here, right now, or right then.